But anyway, so that was neat. And then fucking they drop another bombshell on us with this Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
This shit wasn't even leaked.
Surprisingly.
And it's coming out in November. So,
I know, right?
So I guess that's like their holiday game. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not 100% convinced that this is the only holiday thing. I'm not saying I'm going to be massively surprised if it is, but I just feel like there's probably some other announcements coming. Might not be as large or whatever. It might not even be a bombshell. I just think that there still might be a couple of things. There might even be another little direct here before the holiday. And don't forget, December is still part of the holiday, so they could still technically announce something for that time too. But anyway, I'm not convinced that this is the only holiday thing that's coming up for Nintendo. That being said, this one's fascinating because obviously it's a Warriors game. Like, it's kind of like, I believe it's official canon from what it seems. So it's basically the prequel to Breath of the Wild, which makes Breath of the Wild kind of a, you know, a trilogy now. You know, we're going to have this, there's Breath of the Wild, then Breath of the Wild 2, whatever that's going to be named. I like how they announced this, by the way, like immediately right off the bat, they like just deflated everyone by saying, I know you want to know about Breath of the Wild 2. And everyone's like, well, you got to wait. You know, so we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a Game Awards announcement or something for that. Who knows? But yeah, so I'm not tremendously interested in the Dynasty Warriors gameplay style.
Hack and slash.
Yeah. I mean, I know me and you played a couple of those as kids. And they're fun for like, I don't know. Like, I always felt like they were fun for 10 minutes and then it's like, okay, I'm done. But of course, being the sheep I am for Zelda, you put official visuals and official story beats and canon into this game. I have to play it. Yeah, it's like, it's brilliant because anyone that's like, even if you're not interested in Warriors, like everyone has to buy it because like, well, I can't not have the full complete fucking story. So even if I don't like the gameplay, I'm probably going to get this just to run through the story. And I'll force myself to run through the whole thing. I'm not going to get the hundreds of hours of relaxing content I got with Breath of the Wild, but maybe I'll get 20, 25 hours of running as fast as I can to get through the story just so I know that piece.
And
so
it's a true Dynasty style game. Usually those ones allow you to play with your friends in this hack and slash kind of thing. So there might be a little opportunity there for some fun gameplay with some buddies too. So yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, multiplayer Zelda, multiplayer Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
get
cool
to play
concept,
as
maybe.
Zelda, as the champions, like a lot of stuff to get Zelda fans into this, which I think is brilliant on, you know, their marketing and, you know, the structure of this thing. But it also, like, it is interesting because it does look like it's not the same as a regular Warriors. Like, the battles are, like, that gameplay is, but it seems like they're saying you can do things like solve overworld puzzles, visit shops, craft and customize things. So I'm wondering if like they are doing more because they do say that they're working closely with the developers of Breath of the Wild for, you know, things like the graphics, dialogue, and other stuff. I'm guessing story beats and everything there too. But if they are doing that and you're going to shops and everything, like maybe it's almost like a little bit of more of a blend of a Zelda game into it. And for that reason
like
alone,
a hybrid.
Yeah, it might be more engaging. Hopefully they at least fix the crazy whipping camera system. But it's, you know, it's funny because they came out, Anuma, you know, approached and said like, oh, wouldn't it be great to tell the story of Calamity? Because it would be fitting, right? These giant battles would be fitting of a Warriors type game. And at first I was like, yeah, okay. You know, like this is like one of those like where somebody does something and you're like trying to convince somebody that you did, like you bought something and you're trying to convince like someone that, I promise. Yeah, it's like, well, I figured if I buy that now, but realistically it's like you're full of shit and you just wanted it. Like, it's like, it kind of sounded like that kind of pitch to me. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? This does actually kind of make sense. And for that reason, it's actually giving me a new perspective on the game. And I'm starting to look at this thing in a way of where, because if you think about the way that Breath of the Wild story was told, It's, you know, Impa's voiceover with the canvas, you know, like almost ancient cave paintings of like Zelda, and like, you know, just an image, and it goes 100 years the calamity has destroyed. How do you like my Impa voice? But and it's telling this like almost mythologic, you know, like story, this like heroic story. And if you think about this game is like sort of telling that type of a story by putting it in the warriors. Like it gives you this, like, you know, those old epic heroic mythology tales. Like, think like Beowulf, right? Like when they talk about this shit and they say like, and he killed 100 soldiers with the swipe of a sword, and, you know, with one fell swoop, he killed an entire army. And it's not like real, right? Like, it's an over exaggerated version of what happened, where the truth is, okay, this guy came and he killed 100 people, probably took months. But in the story, it's epic. It's he was so powerful. He killed 100 people with one swipe. And that's kind of what these warrior games are kind of like. And especially if you blend that with the telling of the Calamity story and how Breath of the Wild went about it. And now we're like, it's almost like we're getting a visual representation of Impa's story, and where she's telling you, and Link was this strong warrior, and with one swoop of his sword, he took out 100 enemies. So it's like we're almost playing an exaggerated, epic, heroic mythology story. And having that perspective in my head, it actually sounds like that's a fucking brilliant idea. And I'm now super excited to jump into
and
it.
Now I have to play it.
Yeah. But just changing my like perspective to something like that. And I know that's like they're not coming out with it, like, I'm just kind of perceiving that, but like, it really does make a lot of sense. And I think if you think about it like that, it really sounds fucking awesome. So like, everything that you're doing in the game, nothing's really literal. It's all a visual representation of what the story actually is. But anyway, so I think that's fucking awesome. That's a great bombshell. And I think even though it's a Warriors game, because it's Breath of the Wild and, you know, it's Nintendo, it's going to sell like gangbusters.